Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories. 3 months following the dissolution of the 23rd Israeli parliament, in approximately 10 hours' time, Israelis will once again flood polling stations to determine the future of Jerusalem's leadership. The Greek and Saudi militaries conclude a joint aerial exercise in the eastern Mediterranean. Saudi's Aramco oil installations were once again subject to a cross-border bombardment by the Iranian-backed Houthi militia in Yemen. 3 months following the dissolution of the 23rd Israeli parliament, or Knesset in Hebrew, in approximately 10 hours' time, 6.578 million eligible voters will once again be tasked with determining the future of Jerusalem's political establishment for the fourth time in under 2 years. Similar to the previous 3 election rounds, outgoing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party is once again expected to win the highest number of mandates. Nevertheless, parallel to the past 3 election rounds, neither Netanyahu nor the political bloc opposing his rule are expected to attain a clear path to forming a viable government coalition unless a dramatic change is realized in tomorrow's outcome. Meanwhile, ahead of tomorrow's elections, thousands of Israelis flooded the streets of Jerusalem on Saturday, adjacent to the Prime Minister's residence, calling for change.
We are here to protest against Netanyahu and his corrupted government. This is our last chance before the election. We want everyone to come and vote to change. Vote to exchange this government. 3 days from now, there will be the election, and we would like to see a change. This is why I'm here. This is what everybody here is expecting.
I came to speak and protest about the situation when the government is probably going to win this election, and somebody needs to stop this because the government will be worse than it used to be, and the people must vote differently.
While Israeli citizens are just about to democratically determine the future of their leadership in Jerusalem, the IDF held a ceremony for a transition of its commanding officer in its southern command. Addressing the handover ceremony, outgoing CO Major General Herzia Levi asserted Israel's preparedness for any scenario.
אנו מוכנים מאוד, התאמצנו בכל יום להיות מוכנים יותר מאתמולו. אתה יודע זאת, חשוב שידעו זאת אזרחי ישראל, חשוב לא פחות מכך שידע מי שצריך לדעת זאת בצד השני.
IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Aviv Kochavi, for his part, praised the efforts of the Southern Command, which alongside civilian policies to improve the situation in the Gaza Strip, has significantly alleviated the state of affairs of Israel's southern front with Hamas-controlled territory.
עד לפני שנה התמודד הפיקוד כמעט בכל יום עם מגוון רחב של איומים ואתגרים שהציבו צבאות הטרור בעזה. מהפגנות אלימות על הגדר והפרחת בלוני תבערה ונפץ, דרך ניסיונות חדירה מהים ומהיבשה, וכלה באיום המנהרות ההתקפיות והירי הרקטי לעבר אזרחי המדינה. קצב והיקף האירועים מסוג זה שכחו במידה ניכרת. זה לא קרה מעצמו, אלא בזכות שילוב של הפעלת כוח צבאי ויישום מדיניות אזרחית.
General Kochavi continued by highlighting that the situation in the Hamas-controlled territory could significantly improve.
לצד הפעלת הכוח הפעלנו מאמצים אזרחיים שגם להם יש השפעה לא מבוטלת על היציבות הביטחונית. אך עם זאת, איכות החיים ברצועת עזה יכולה להיות הרבה יותר טובה מכפי שהיא היום. הפתרון נמצא בידי חמאס. כל עוד יעדיפו מנהרות על פני כבישים, רקטות על פני בריאות וטיפול רפואי, ותקציב לטרור על פני תקציב לחינוך, ימצאו שהם מתחפרים ושוקעים בתוך ביצה.
The top IDF officer also seized the opportunity to condemn the International Criminal Court in The Hague for its prosecutor's decision to launch an investigation into Palestinian claims of alleged Israeli war crimes.
התובעת בהמלצת רוב השופטים קיבלה החלטה חמורה מבחינה מוסרית. היא הפכה את היוצרות וכיוונה את החקירה נגדנו, הצד הערכי אשר מגן על אזרחיו, במקום לכוון את החקירה כלפי העבריין שרומס את הדין הבינלאומי. ובנוסח דברי הנביא ישעיהו, הוי האומרים לרע טוב ולטוב רע, שמים חושך לאור ואור לחושך, שמים מר למתוק ומתוק למר. אויבינו ואנחנו נמצאים בשני עולמות שונים לחלוטין, שתהום מוסרית וערכית מפרידה ביניהם. הם עושים הכל כדי לפגוע באזרחינו, אנחנו עושים הכל כדי לעמוד במשימה ולהימנע מפגיעה באזרחים.
Turning to Brussels, where the European Union has voiced its regret over Kosovo's decision to establish its embassy to Israel in Jerusalem. Despite repeated EU calls on Pristina authorities to abandon its decision, Kosovo, which aspires to join the 27-member bloc, has followed through on its U.S. brokered pledge to open its diplomatic mission in Jerusalem on March the 14th. Consequently, the European Union signaled to the Kosovo leadership its outrage and called upon it to fall in line with EU policy.
EU has repeatedly reiterated its firm commitment to a negotiated and viable two-state solution built upon the internationally agreed parameters and international law. In its conclusion in December 2017, the European Council, as head of the state and government level, reiterated that the EU position on Jerusalem remains unchanged. The EU's long-standing position is clear. A way must be found through negotiations to resolve the status of Jerusalem as the future capital of both states, and the aspirations of both parties must be fulfilled. The question of Jerusalem is a final status issue. In this context, any diplomatic steps that could call into question the EU's common position on Jerusalem are a matter of serious concern and regret.
Meanwhile, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Charles Michel held a video call with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan last Friday ahead of an EU summit scheduled for the 25th and 26th of this month, aimed at discussing the fraught relations with Ankara over the latter's activities in the Eastern Mediterranean, among other points of contention. While the Turkish presidency noted in a statement that Erdogan highlighted Turkey's, quote, constructive approach in the Mediterranean, despite provocations from Greece and Cyprus, the European Commission stressed separately, quote, the EU side underlined the importance of sustained de-escalation and of further strengthening confidence building to allow for a more positive EU-Turkey agenda. Subsequently, an informal EU foreign ministerial was held today in which the European bloc's top diplomats deliberated their respective agendas intended to be discussed in the EU summit later this week.
Today, I can say that Turkey and Russia are the two items on preparation of the European Union Council. But the southern neighborhood is not a preparation of the Council, but a very important issue in order to push and to improve our relationship with our immediate Mediterranean neighborhood.
Turning to the island of Crete, where the Greek military's chief of general staff, Konstantinos Floros, hosted his Saudi counterpart, General Fayyad bin Hamad al-Ruwaili, for an official conclusion of a joint Hellenic-Saudi aerial exercise titled Falcon I-1. As part of the joint exercise, Saudi Arabia dispatched 6 F-15C aircraft, which were hosted by the 115th Wing of the Hellenic Air Force, 2nd Battalion, since the 13th of March. Consequently, however, the joint exercise infuriated Turkey.
Suudi Arabistan'ın şu anda Yunanistan'la bir ortak tatbikata girmesi bile bizi üzmüştür. Biz Suudi Arabistan'ı da böyle bir karar sürecinde görmek istemezdik. Tabii bunu da yine Suudi Arabistan yetkilileriyle ayrıca görüşeceğiz ki bu böyle olmamalıydı, olmamalıdır diye düşünüyoruz.
Turning to the Saudi Arabian Kingdom, where Saudi Aramco oil installations were once again subject to a cross-border bombardment by the Iranian-backed Houthi militia in Yemen.
نفذت قواتنا المسلحة عملية 6 من شعبان ب6 طائرات مسيرة استهدفت شركة أرامكو في عاصمة العدو السعودي الرياض، وقد أصابت أهدافها بدقة عالية بفضل الله.
There was no immediate confirmation of the incident from Saudi authorities, and Aramco did not immediately respond to TV7's request for comment. Nevertheless, the U.S. State Department confirmed the attack by voicing its condemnation of the reported incident. Per briefing readout, the State Department stressed, quote, "We remain deeply concerned by the frequency of attacks on Saudi Arabia. We have seen that the Houthis claimed responsibility for these attacks and condemned the Houthis' attempts to disrupt global energy supplies by targeting Saudi infrastructure. This behavior shows an utter lack of concern for safety of the civilian population, either working or living nearby the sites." Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7 Israel's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Namibia in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world, in addition to our ongoing prayers for the peace of Jerusalem and the salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you a Shavua Tov U'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.